Hello, Sally and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the Mary Kay foundation, actually the TimeWise foundation, matte wear, which again I have loved for a long time. If you're an OG watcher, viewer, subscriber on my channel, you know that I had a video up from back in the day where I did a comparison between using a sponge on one side and using a brush on the other, and just seeing how the product works, the consistency, the colouring, everything. And I thought I'd do an updated version for 2018. It's kind of I can't even call it a review because it's a product that I reach for quite a lot and I go back and forth on it. So just to cover a few points on this foundation, it retails for £19.50 here in the UK. I'm not even going to try and convert it in the US or anywhere else. I know I've got a lot of Nigerian viewers and Kenyan viewers and people from just all over the world that pop up on my channel with questions and stuff. But yeah, have a little look on the website. I know they do country specific websites and you get all the different vendors that you can contact, which again kind of annoys me because sometimes you just want to get it yourself, but that's the whole idea of Mary Kay, I guess. So basically this foundation, I have it in the shade Bronze 5 and I've gone for the matte option, which I love because I have super oily skin, and this is actually made for people with combination and oily skin. Now, because it is part of their TimeWise range, that is a range that caters to people that are looking out for their skin, that are thinking about aging, that are thinking about wrinkles and lines. And funnily enough, it actually describes the product as an oil controlling foundation that has vitamin E in it and collagen building elements, but also it visibly reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles and imperfections. So like, I'm in my 20s, I'm not really thinking about fine lines, I'm not really thinking about wrinkles, but hey, prevention is always a good thing, so I'm starting early. But actually when I read that, it kind of reminded me of why I thought Mary Kay was cancelled for a while. Basically that in itself shows that it was kind of something that was catered to slightly the older women. My mum, my aunties, my nan, you know, people like that. And for me, for a long time, I was sleeping on Mary Kay because I was like, nah, my mum rocks Mary Kay. Like, it can't be the one for me. Like, it's not gonna make me feel good or look a certain way. And also it's because I guess my mum applies Mary Kay not to have beat face, but just like light coverage and, you know, mum makeup. I realised that this was a great foundation for people that struggle with oily skin, but also someone like me who has like scars and marking from spots and just generally hyperpigmentation. So a lot of you guys will see in videos where I'm showing you my makeup looks and stuff, I've got very dark circles, I've got, you know, marks around my cheek area that aren't that crazy actually, but yeah, it's mainly my dark circles and maybe around my mouth where I've got hyperpigmentation. And a lot of the time people say to me, oh, you know, I'm so tired, it must be having a baby. And I'm like, oh, must be that I had them before actually. I've just always had it. Doesn't matter how much sleep I get, I've just always had those dark circles. So yeah, for me, once it covered that and all I needed was like a touch of concealer just to brighten a bit, I was sold. I was really, really sold. I was a little bit put off by the lack of colour options in between all the shades. It really does annoy me that the jump from a bronze 4 and a bronze 5 doesn't cater for whether your skin is warm, cool, or, you know, whether you've got a red undertone or whatever. It's predominantly red undertone, and I think that's obviously because this brand was made for women of colour, and people have always assumed that everyone has like a reddish undertone. But yeah, I'm warm, got yellowiness to me. So anyway, if you're interested in finding out my thoughts about this a little bit more and just seeing how I apply it, then definitely keep on watching. Alright guys, let's get started. I've just taken it out of its packaging. The box here, which as you know, this is basically for combination to oily skin, and I have oily skin. Now, I no longer try and put sunscreen or anything like that because a lot of the foundations that I choose to use have SPF in them. So that works nicely for me a lot of the time, and moisturisers that I use have SPF in them. So I'm still loving the Real Techniques buffing brush, and I always kind of replace that. Now with this technique and foundations in general, it's up to you whether you want to pop it onto the back of your hand, dab it onto your face, or straight onto the brush, whatever works best for you. A lot of the time I'm just trying to do whatever's going to be super quick, so straight onto the brush, especially because this is pump free and you're squeezing out the amount you want, is best for me. And I feel like because it's in this type of tube like packaging, I always get every single bit out. I've had points where I cut it out sometimes because I love it that much. Now I go on and off it because, as you can probably see, as soon as you pop it on, it gives you like an orange sort of tone. So, you know, that in itself is a bit difficult because naturally I haven't actually ever seen a woman of colour or someone with dark skin that has that oranginess to their skin. So I feel like with this product you really have to work with it. I don't think it's something where you can just pop it on and walk straight out, but because of the staying power that it has, for me it's really, really nice. And I think in my old video when I tested this, I used a sponge as well to try and work it into the skin. I don't really do that anymore because, again, a lot of the makeup products I'm using, I'm thinking about how quickly I can get those products in and onto my face. So as you can see, I didn't colour correct or anything. Again, that's something that I no longer really have time for. So I feel like if I have a good enough high coverage foundation that can cover my dark circles and I can just top up with concealer to brighten, it does the trick for me. So in terms of the actual scent of the foundation, it has kind of a manufactured scent to it. Yeah, it has a little bit of a scent to it, but I don't think it's anything that's off-putting or anything that distracts me or annoys me. It's fine. And you know, with some foundations you get sort of like a scent to them where they've put either a rose undertone or something like that, so they haven't done that with this. Now with that, I feel like I've got areas that are still a bit patchy that may need more work, and I can go into them. So when I have time, I usually then I've dabbed straight onto that area with a little bit more product, and that's probably a bit too much, so that's probably better if I just dab onto the areas that I think just need a little bit more love. And to be honest, this is a product that I go back and forth to. Always trying new products, and it's nice to see what's out on the market, especially on the high street. But I feel like for the price and the coverage quality and how well the colour works when it oxidizes, for me, means that it's something that I always go back to. It's an excellent everyday foundation for me. And I feel like a lot of people probably think that Mary Kay's been cancelled because it was such a mum product. It's definitely something that I associated with my mum's handbag for a long time. Low-key, I still do, because I only use their foundation, or I only try and get the foundation. But actually, if it was on the high street, I think they'd have excellent exposure. Okay, so I'm probably doing a little bit more of a slowed down version than I normally would, putting on my everyday foundation, because I would already be on to the next step. But I do want to just show you guys how it blends so seamlessly to kind of cover dark marks, hyperpigmentation, but still leave you with a reasonably nice colour that doesn't look like a cast, in my opinion, and a colour that doesn't actually leave you looking pale.